This is Team 7 with Gabriela Zavalaga and Ayat Sleiman. 1. The relationship between human and nature. We focus on Terraform's one's way of design and science, planning, and especially in urban planning. Talking about nature and culture, our hypothesis was the principles of nature being like humans and plants and how these can be applied in an urban development to help create a capitalist plan for a smart city. For example, interaction, education, and health. Environmental awareness provides the economic vitality, the sustainable design products, social and technical innovation, educational designs, and ecological connectivity is one of the main factors that Terraform One focuses on when it comes to designing and especially their program. Discourse 2, which Ayat will talk about, is food disposal and how this green brain gives back to the major city by balancing its own energy, waste, air quality, water, and economy. And so I will leave the rest to Ayat to finish.
In continuation for our discourse 2, food disposal and how is it connected to the nature and human relation. First, we question and after we analyze the Terraform 1 Green Brain Park, and we question, can we iterate the human brain on the city form and function? And the reason we question that is by looking at the Terraform 1 Green Brain Park, we saw these long tentacles and legs, and that it connects to the ground for support and absorption and release. For that, we consider that would it collect energy, would it collect the ecological form of the city, or would it feed it back to the town? In that, we diagrammatic how could an urban ecology with the food disposable could be a cycle and recycle for the town. So we looked at about how would the food disposal cycle would be, would food absorb and then recycle it, release back nutrition and collect it back, and then the cycle will continue again by collecting from the city, cycle it and absorb the food and then release the nutrition again back to the nature. We move to discourse 3, which is we consider as transportation is a very important discourse in order to create a connection between nature and human. Nature and human usually connect and have a spatial interaction by having different method of transportation. We found that also by analyzing the Green Brain Park and how with the city connector and receptor. So we looked into distance, spaces, the physical, the visual, how we are feeling about the city, how we are interacting, how much time do we need to take between the distance for the distance, and what do we see in between, what do we smell, what do we hear, if there's any noise, and how would that all get interacted with the feeling of a human interaction with the nature. Transportation, it's also by experience. So we looked into what kind of experience would a human feel while doing the transportation. There's like a physical experience, there's like a visual experience, engaging experience, and interaction experience. After we looked into a method, we see there is a different type of interaction between wireless, physical. There's the service, which is also connected to information, and information, it's also connected to how we receive energy, recycle, how we can recreate, educate, and social in the economy. The outcome was extracted from analyzing the Green Brain Park in depth, as it is the heart of the full ecological cycle in the smart city, the main liaison that connects the ecological element and resemble a sufficient and sustainable strategy to the whole urban environment.
So for our third presentation, we wanted to focus on methods. For the Green Park, the Green Brain, we wanted to focus on the green infrastructure that is going to be applied in major cities. So how does research transform into design? The way that Terraform works is they lay out their urbaneers, which is a group of urban planners and urban designers, and they begin designing, planning, and involve science. So how did Terraform One's approach the design? And what type of research did they focus on? And lastly, how did they implement results into the Green Brain Park idea? The design steps are the issue, the research, and design. First, they address the issue through the environmental issues. The verifications are part of the scientific research, monitoring, experimenting, and testing. Projection are design, planning, innovating, and through performance that comes through the final solution. And so, what are Terraform's one goals? Terraform 1 focuses on a whole new form of socio-ecological design and how emerging technologies will impact the future of urban ecology development. One of the main functions of the Green Brain project is to balance its own air quality to provide a harmonized environment in the center of the cities that will also be part of a smart park. Addressing the issue. For example, we focused on air pollution. The types of pollutions are the carbon oxides, nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides, and etc. There's also chemical reactions that occur when pollution is exposed to sunlight, and as well as ozone and greenhouse gases. Some of the sources are the area source of small pollution sources, commercial building, residential, mobile sources, point sources such as industrial, chemical plants, etc. Most of the impacts they cause in the cities are the health and the environment. So what elements inform the design? First, as we had explained, addressing the issue, verifications, and projection. Addressing the issue through environmental, air pollution, and health. Verifications through research methods, monitoring, observation, collecting data, projection, design, planning, innovations, and performance. And I will leave the rest to Ayat to complete.
Moving to our case study and influenced by the research method that was done by Terraform 1 at the Green Brain Park, analyzing the issue by addressing it first as air pollution. Looking into the verification type of method, how can we confirm or how can we look at the health effect for lung cancer? First, we studied the data, the observation, then monitoring. Third form in the research method would be the projection, which is another type of form that Terraform 1 also used. The projection, we looked how can we solve this issue and how can we look into the issue with verification and that can influence the design. Remember back our first presentation, they wanted something to take from the city and give back to the city that could fit into the same category as we're taking the polluted air and then bringing it back as a clean air back to the city. So looking deeper in the mean of analysis to use the design concept and how the smoke-free project is going to be affected or influenced by the issue itself. So the smoke-free project, the inspiration came from how diamonds are made in nature by compressed carbon. Again, the diamond are nature material, and then the intent of Terraform 1 is to bring from nature to solve the nature issue, and this could fit perfectly with the intent design. Although it is not a Terraform 1 design, the smoke-free tower, it is designed by Tidio Ruzegard in Beijing. So, but the idea, it kind of fit like taking a concept from the nature and then bringing it back to the nature. Using ion technology, the tower attracts and captures the small pollution particles and release them to the air after cleaning them and then filtering them, leaving the surrounded air with about 75% cleaner. The smoke-free project could save lives, could clean the inner city park, raise awareness, and also prevent from danger on health danger. Also it runs on a very low power, and it could be looking at as environmentally friendly. For our pollution control, so as a summary and looking at what we can apply it for our further case study or further project, the green infrastructure used to control the air pollution in a major urban city. The air purifier structure absorbs the polluted air and release purifier air, a way to give back to the city. for the location, and then we would see that in our upcoming presentation. A smart park, where do we choose it, and how can that be an educational and also for the most condensed area.
For our third presentation, we wanted to focus on the purpose for China's air quality crisis. Our hypothesis is the city of Beijing, China suffers from poor air quality due to manufacturing expansions and decrease in green spaces. Our contextual elements that we wanted to focus on for Beijing are through urban fabrics, cultural traditions, and landscape. We wanted to focus on our case study precedents through Terraform's ones, which is the Green Brain, a studio roof guard for a smog-free tower talked about on research presentation 2, and we got inspired from architect Stefano Boeri on forest cities. Our first contextual element, urban topography. We studied the topography of Beijing and how the topography affected the air pollution. Contextual element 2, which is the cultural traditions and nature interaction, and how urban activities get affected. The activities in China increase as the air in the city gets clean. Contextual element 2 continued on cultural traditions and how urban activities are being affected through air pollution are for tourists, street vendors, local commuters, and other outdoor activities, as well as construction workers. Contextual element 3, we wanted to focus on the landscape air quality and what are the measures of air pollution.
The summary for our case study, after reviewing all the 3 different types of contextual element, again, we're looking at the issue verification and projection. What is the green expansion? How does it control the air pollution system? What is the natural influence? Because Terraform 1 is all about taking from the nature and providing for the nature. The green expansion air profile, how does it affect the city? So we looked into 3 different contextual elements to understand how would it affect the city, the program, the urban fabric, and the landscape. Contextual element 1, the program, more in depth, it's a vertical green expansion. As we can see in the lower left corner, the towers of a green park could be implemented with any type of building, whether it's commercial or it's residential. Contextual element 2, the urban fabric. We look into the streetscape and where can we apply these type of a green tower, and how does it take from, what does it take from the space, or would it be affecting? In the contextual element 3, which is we look at the bigger picture, if this project would be to expand to a different, the whole of the city, it would affect the air quality as a cleansing system. The projection is to see the city of Beijing in China to fight air pollution, and also there is another movement to create more to enhance the forest industry, which is also could help suck big tons of carbon out of the atmosphere. In summary, we would say that Terraform idea of the Green Brain Park, a smart park for the new city project, and the principle of the nature being can be applied in urban development and help plan for a smart city and even resolve the air quality issue.